Good evening, Contemporary Relationships families. My name is Heidi Pendergraph. I am the teacher of this course for this semester. I wanted to take just a couple of minutes to go through the course to kind of talk about some expectations that you may be seeing coming home and some different topics that we will discuss. You're probably wondering what contemporary relationships is. And in a nutshell, it's a class that talks about all the relationships that we have in our lives. So we go through kind of starting with ourselves and working all the way up into our adult lives. I'm going to real quick move to the screen of our topic. So these are our units. Personal dynamics, as I said, is all about ourselves. So we kind of look at our self-esteem, our morals and values, our how we speak to one another, which is self-disclosure, our personality traits, being extroverted or introverted, all of that type of stuff. And we process that in a relationship kind of lens. And how do the things that we bring to the table impact the relationships that we have in our life? We then move on to family. What is our family structure? How does our family life cycle area affect us? We look at culture. We look at different things within culture and how do those things impact relationships in regards to us and our family. This is a fun unit because they get to kind of start digging deep into their family background and how some of the traditions and some of the different actions that we have within our own family have taught us certain behaviors, certain expectations, certain ways of looking at how a relationship should be. And there is a activity in this unit where they're going to come home and talk to you. So be ready for that. Probably won't be until around the Thanksgiving break, but beginning to middle of November is usually when we start this topic. Then we have friendships and dating. So dating has changed very much since I did it back in the 1980s and 1990s. And we're looking at now kind of how kids we see a lot of friendships and a lot of ways that kids just are together being friends with no real dating status. So we talk about more than dating, we talk about friendships. How do you recognize healthy and unhealthy friendships? How do you get out of an unhealthy friendship? What are some of the different things that we can do to stand up for ourselves? Even though we're doing it under the lens of friendship, we're also throwing in that these things can be done for dating as well. I do that because a lot of high school kids will say, well, I'm not dating anybody, but they have multiple people that they are friends with. And those friends sometimes are not healthy. And so I want them to have the ability to recognize the difference and know, when do I get out of it? What do I do? Relationship crisis is kind of the negative end of all of this. So we're going to look at some of those downsides that come to both friendships and then those romantic relationships. We talk about sexual harassment, talk about criminal sexual conduct. What are the laws, legalities with that? Talk about sexting and sending naked pictures or sexual pictures through our phones, through technology. We talk about dating violence. We look at sexually transmitted infections. All of this stuff was talked about and introduced in health. Many of our students took health in ninth grade. This is kind of adding on to that. We do that for a couple different reasons. One, we feel the information is extremely important. And two, most of our kids are in a different place as juniors and seniors than they were as ninth graders. This is an upper level class. And what I mean by that, it is only offered for our 11th and 12th grade students, partly because of the topics and that we are adding on to that health curriculum. Then our last unit is challenges in adulthood. So we're going to look at some of the challenges that are presented once we are away from mom and dad. We kind of stay away from the financial stuff. I shouldn't say kind of, we do. Those things are covered in life and leadership class, in finance class, in economics. So we stay away from that. And we're looking at relationships, like that decision, do I want to get married? Do I not want to get married? What does marriage mean to us? What's the background of marriage? We talk about launching and moving away and how the relationships with our parents are going to change. And sometimes they're enhanced after we grow up and we become adults. We also talk about some of the downsides, those family crises of divorce, death, caring for aging parents. So we kind of do this whole great big spectrum of everything that happens in our lives as a result of relationships. That's contemporary relationships in a nutshell. I only have a short amount of time. I don't want to take up your whole night. So please reach out to me if you ever have any questions about the content, about what may have been talked about in class, so that you know. I do post all of the PowerPoints on Schoology, so you can very easily access that underneath of each unit if you were wanting to know what was happening. But I am always free to an email. If you prefer phone calls, just call the high school, leave a message, and I will return your call. All right. Have a great night. I wish you and your students an awesome year. I know it's going to be great in this room. Thank you.